I'm Sandy, and I am an alcoholic.
Hi, Sandy.
I really wish that was a little bit longer of a reading. I'd like to thank you, Kathy, for asking me to come share. I just have a little story I have to tell you how God works in my life, and it's all about sharing at this. I normally work Saturdays and Sundays, and during the winter anyway, not in the summer. And I decided I needed to have a Saturday off when I made my schedule, so I just happened to pick this Saturday to be off. And don't you know, the following week, Kathy asked me to share at this meeting. Normally I wouldn't have, because I would have been working. So I said yes. And then the week after that, we find out, well, we volunteer out of family circumstances, that we are catering my granddaughter's baptism tomorrow, cooking for 60-plus people. So God, I guess, had this all set up to give me a little break in the insanity of it all, to come and get myself rooted here. And the old Sandy would have called Kathy and said, Kathy, I can't come. But I knew immediately that it was all part of God's plan and everything was going to come off without a hitch. And I only know that because I've worked these steps in my life and continue to work them. And I can truly see God working in my life today. So when things don't go exactly as I have planned, after I usually have a little bit of a temper tantrum anyway, I can sit back, take a deep breath, and I can say, thank you, God. You know, and that's the direct result of working the steps and taking my inventory and continuing to take personal inventory. And on my way here, I knew it was step 10, and I said, I really wish it was step 11th, because I have a lot of spiritual awareness this week, but then it popped into me that step 10 is all about perseverance. And you know, because I can practice perseverance in my life, I can show up and suit up and be part of life today and be of service to whoever happens to come my way, you know. I wouldn't be able to do that. When I came into this program, I did not have perseverance in my life. You know what I mean? I was a runner. I took the easy way out of everything. If you challenged me beyond what I was ready to be challenged, I would just, you know, dismiss you from my life. If you didn't agree with me, I could easily erase a person from my life. I never, ever, ever had strong connections to anybody, other than my children. And all I did is control the hell out of them. You know, I ruled them with an iron fist and kept my thumb down with them. And I came into this program in Open AA, and, you know, I got exactly what I needed. I was greeted by some beautiful, loving women. Kathy was at my very first AA meeting. It was a big book meeting, and everyone was reading from the book and sharing, and I said, I will never go back to that meeting again. And I didn't for a long time, because that scared the hell out of me. And but, you know, I kept coming to meetings. I kept going to the open meetings. I kept going, and I worked the steps in other formats, and I learned a lot about myself. One thing I never really did was continue to take personal inventory. You know, so I emptied that knapsack that I carried around full of all those heavy rocks, and felt really good for a while, and then just started filling that knapsack back up again, you know. So when I had gone back to school, and I had gotten enough sobriety where I felt strong enough to go back to school, and I had gone back to school, and I persevered, you know. I learned some perseverance about, I put my nose to the grindstone, and I did everything I needed to do, and my meetings were far and few between because the schedule was so intense. And I didn't see what I see today, that, you know, like coming this morning it's going to carry me through tomorrow. Because what I didn't tell you, the reason why we're catering it is because my husband's ex-wife, who we have not had to deal with in a long time, was supposed to be taking care of this and dropped the ball 2 weeks ago. So I have to be spiritually fit to go to this baptism tomorrow. I really do. She's not my favorite person to begin with. And now one of the things when I first found out we were going to cater this event, immediately my chest started getting big and that self-righteousness started growing. And thank God, I said, oh, no. That's not what this is about. This is because Sandy would really love to rub this in her face. I really would. I'm going to be honest. But this is about my granddaughter. It's not about me showing her up. So, I immediately sat down and I started praying and I started meditating, and I've been doing it around this event for 2 weeks. So sitting here today, I hope you all get something out of this, but I know this is a gift for me, so I can show up and suit up and be the grandmother that my granddaughter needs, and not be the vindictive little bitch that, I would normally be. So, having said that, we'll get back. So I'm in nursing school. And I'm doing the best I can, and I did very well in school. And when I graduated school, I had the expectation, just to get that gold ring, that reward, immediately, of course, not, 9 months down the road. And between my meetings being slacked off during school and not being spiritually fit and not getting what I thought I was supposed to get right away, those resentments jumped on me, and my backpack were full of rocks again, and I was ready to go back out. I was full of anger, resentment, and my sponsor at the time kept trying to get me to come to Big Book Step Study. And I said, no, I don't have the time for that. I've done the steps twice through 2 other formats. I had been sober for 5 years. Obviously, this crap doesn't work, and I'd call her and I'd complain, and she'd listen, but she always brought me back. Well, you're going to come to Big Book Step Study. No, and I'd hang up and I wouldn't talk to her for a week. So I'm driving down Route 9 one day. I had gone for God knows how many interviews I had gone on, and it didn't go the way I wanted. And I'm on my way home, and I'm at a red light, and I started thinking, you know what? I'm suffering from severe depression and anxiety. I need to go to the doctor, and I need to get a prescription. I just graduated nursing school, people, so I knew exactly what to ask the doctor for to get the exact effect that I wanted to get. And I knew exactly what to tell the doctor my symptoms were so I could get those prescriptions written to me. And I started thinking, yep, a little bit of Ativan to go a long way right about now. Well, I can only say it was God's grace that by the next red light, I said, holy shit, I am planning my relapse. That's exactly what I'm doing. So when I got home, I called that sponsor again, and I'm crying. And I said, I don't know what I'm going to do. And she said, are you ready now? Are you ready to come to Big Book Step Study? I was so angry, but I said, yeah. What do I got to lose? I didn't want to go back out. I'd been sober for 5 years, and I really didn't believe it would work for me. So I came, but I was still such a child. I said, but you're not going to be my sponsor. I've already done the steps with you. And she's like, that's fine. So I found a woman to walk me through the steps. In the next 9 months of my life, I took inventory and I started to develop a relationship with my higher power. And I thought it was going to be quick because I've done the steps twice. I said, how difficult could this be? Well, I can tell you I had a full notebook. I had 76 resentments, and that's people only. This is 5 years sobriety after doing the steps, twice, and I thought a couple of people. I still had pages and pages on certain family members, and I had even developed a couple of resentments about people in program by then. And I certainly had resentments about some of your sayings in this program because they weren't working, you know. But I did the work, and I really didn't think it would work. I didn't think it would work. But again, we're on step 10. I persevered, and I did the work, you know. I just kept doing it. I figured, what did I have to lose? And, you know, when I did the work, again, I thought, I'm done. Thank God I'm done. And she's like, you're not done. This is a lifetime affair, like it says right here. You know, I have to do this for the rest of my life. For the rest of my life, I have to continue to watch for selfishness, dishonesty, resentment, and fear. And when they crop up, I have to ask them to be removed. You know, I can't rest on my laurels. I can't think that, oh, I've done the work, thank you, and now I've graduated like I went to college, you know what I mean? And just like college, if you graduate and you never use what you learned, you're going to lose it. Well, it's the same way. I put this into the same category. If I don't continue to use the tools that I've learned by doing this work, that old Sandy that popped up the minute I knew I was going to cater this event, there's going to be no spiritual awareness going on there. There's going to be no willingness to pray to have that removed. I'm going to be so self-justified, and I'm going to plow through people and erase people out of my life the way I used to. And before you know it, my life is going to be very small, very lonely, full of resentment and anger and just an emptiness. And there's only one solution for me for that, and that's to drink. That's it. You know, this is my solution to what goes on between my ears. You know, I still have very negative thinking, but thank God, just like that day at the red light, I have that second thought that comes now. But now it comes much quicker, and now I take action on it. I don't just sit there thinking, You know, I know instantly, and I take action on it. And, you know, I pick up the phone, and I'll call someone else in program that I know that is living by these spiritual principles. There's a lot of people in program I won't run my stuff by because they might be sober, but all they've done is put the plug in the jug. And they're just as miserable, or even more miserable sober than they were when they were drinking. But I've been blessed to have so many women put in my life that truly do their best on a daily basis to try to live by these principles. And anytime I'm struggling with what the right decision is, I pray, I talk to someone I can trust, and what I do is I hold it up to these principles that I learned by working these steps, you know? Am I being honest? Am I having some hope? Am I living in faith? Am I being courageous? Am I a woman of integrity? You know, am I practicing willingness and humility and brotherly love? Am I persevering through what I'd rather run away from? Am I being spiritually aware with the messages and signals that are coming to me? And am I being open to service? And if I can answer yes to those questions, then I know I'm heading in the right direction. When I'm struggling with that, then I've learned to just do nothing. Doing nothing is better than doing the wrong thing. You know, and I'm certainly not perfect. Ask any member of my family member or close friends. They'll be more than happy to co-sign that. And but I do the best I can. And when I don't stop and think and try to measure my thoughts up against those, my motives up against those principles, and I run through and take action without consulting my higher power or someone else, inevitably I trip over somebody and hurt somebody. But I'm aware of that today. Every night when I go to bed, one of my things I ask my higher power is, if I've hurt somebody today or done the wrong thing, please make me aware of that so I can clean it up. And I can tell you more than once I've woken up in the morning with a boing, an awareness of something that I wouldn't have been aware of, you know, because I'm still me. And I still, you know, just get running, and if fear gets a hold of me, watch out. You know, when fear gets a hold of me, I don't necessarily want to have my higher power's opinion. I don't want to have anyone else, because I'm afraid. I'm afraid, and I want to feel protected, and so I go back into those old behaviors to make myself feel safe. And but sooner or later, if I keep going to meetings and I keep praying and I keep sharing honestly and being as honest as I can with someone, and willingness is huge for me. I have to be willing to persevere. I have to pray for that. And I have to do it, you know, I know a lot of people share that they live the latter steps to the best of their ability. I live all the steps to the best of my ability, because I can't live 10, 11, and 12 if I'm not practicing 1 through 9. I just can't do it. It just doesn't happen. If I don't have willingness, nothing else happens. If I don't have honesty and hope and faith, nothing else happens. You know? So I just keep coming to meetings, and I keep sharing my experience, strength and hope, and I listen, and I take suggestions, and, you know, I am not the woman. I'm certainly not the woman that came into this program 11 years ago, but I can tell you I'm not even the woman I was 6 months ago. Because that's what I love about this program, is that every challenge that comes my way, everything that I can't stand when it happens, when I pray and I face it and I walk through it and I handle it to the best of my ability, it changes me. It heals me a little bit more. It strengthens me just a little bit more. It gives me an awareness about something else outside of me. You know what I mean? My life was all about me, period. And if you didn't have something that was for me, to enhance me, then I had nothing for you. What I have learned is I don't focus on that anymore. I focus on how can I be of service. And every single time, I'm fed. Where before, I was more focused on feeding me. If there was one donut, I was getting it. You know what I mean? Now I'll either give it away or I'll at least cut it in half. You know? But if, you know, I put that same thing into anything. You know, I put that same thought process into everything. And just like the donut, when I don't eat the whole thing, well, guess what? It helps me out a little bit. You know? Well, when I'm willing to help someone else out a little bit, I get a whole lot more in return. You know? So I'm very grateful that you've asked me to speak. You've allowed me to come and burn your ears. And, you know, I love this step. I love all the steps. I love this program. And I just want to end with what I have highlighted here, that every day is a day when we must carry the vision of God's will into all of our activities. Thank you.